You've been studying wrong. Not because you're lazy, not because you're slow, because nobody ever taught you how your brain actually learns. Here's the truth. Most students spend hours rereading notes and highlighting textbooks, and almost none of it sticks. It feels productive. It isn't. There's a small set of techniques that can cut your study time in half and double what you retain. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. 1. Have you ever read a chapter, felt like you understood it, then blanked on the test? That's not a memory problem. That's a recognition trap. Your brain confuses "this looks familiar" with "I actually know this." The fix is called active recall. Instead of reading your notes again, close them. Try to write down everything you remember from scratch. It feels harder. That's the point. Struggling to remember is what builds the memory in the first place. 2. Do you cram the night before and forget it a week later? That's because your brain treats last-minute information as temporary. It's not wrong to do this. It's just how memory works. Spacing your review over several days rather than one long session is called the spacing effect. A little bit today, a little bit in 3 days, a little bit in a week. Each time you come back, the memory gets stronger and lasts longer. 3. Think about this. Have you ever studied one topic for hours and felt like your brain went numb halfway through? That's not a focus problem. That's your brain running out of new signal. Switching between related topics, instead of drilling one thing repeatedly, is called interleaving. Study a bit of one subject, then switch to another, then come back. It feels less smooth. It builds stronger connections between ideas, and it makes you much better at knowing which method to use when. 4. Have you ever tried to explain something to a friend and realized you didn't actually understand it? That's not embarrassing. That's incredibly useful information. It's called the Feynman technique. Explain a concept out loud in the simplest words you can, like you're teaching a 12-year-old. The moment you get stuck is the exact moment you've found the gap in your understanding. Now you know exactly what to fix. 5. Do you ever feel guilty for taking breaks while studying? Don't. Your brain doesn't absorb information in one long stretch. It absorbs it in short bursts, then needs a pause to consolidate what just happened. Studying in focused blocks of 25 to 50 minutes, followed by a real break, isn't slacking off. It's working with your brain's attention span instead of against it. 6. Have you ever highlighted an entire page and realized later you remembered none of it? Highlighting feels active. It's actually passive. Your eyes move, your brain doesn't engage. The techniques that actually work all have one thing in common. They force you to retrieve information, not just look at it again. Flashcards, practice questions, and self-testing beat rereading every single time. 7. Think about this. Have you ever studied for hours and still felt unprepared? Sometimes that's not about how much time you spent. It's about how you spend it. Testing yourself on material, even before you feel ready, called retrieval practice, teaches your brain faster than reviewing the same material passively ever could. Getting an answer wrong while practicing is not failure. It's information your brain uses to close the gap. 8. Do you ever study everything in the order it appears in the textbook? That order was built for teaching, not for testing. Start with the ideas you understand the least while your energy is highest. Save the easy material for when you're tired. Prioritizing based on difficulty, not on page order, means your hardest hours get your best focus. 9. Have you ever noticed you remember song lyrics effortlessly but forget formulas within days? Rhythm, association, and repetition over time are what make memory stick. That's the whole idea behind spaced repetition tools. They quietly resurface information right before you're about to forget it. You're not fighting your memory anymore. You're working with the exact timing it needs. So here's what this actually comes down to. Fast learning was never about being naturally gifted. It's about working with how memory is built instead of against it. Testing yourself instead of rereading. Spacing your review instead of cramming. Switching topics instead of grinding one thing into the ground. None of this is a shortcut. It's just the version of studying that was designed around how your brain actually works. The students who seem to learn everything effortlessly aren't doing more. They're doing less, more precisely. If this helped you see studying differently, subscribe. The next video breaks down exactly how to build a weekly study schedule using every technique in this one.